Hi there, welcome to my channel where I take you on tours of unique homes and showcase stories of people living alternatively. In today's episode, we're visiting one woman's off-grid tiny container home on the Big Island of Hawaii. But before we jump right in and take a tour, we have a fun little challenge to complete with the help of this week's sponsor. So it's the perfect time of year for tailgating, but one of the challenges is when you're in a parking lot, you don't always have power. That's why today, with the help of this week's sponsor, Jackery, we're gonna be powering 2 crock pots and a television so we can watch the game without any disruptions. The Jackery 2000 V2 solar generator is an effortless solution for home power stability, providing instant power with no installation. This eco-friendly generator is meant to replace traditional fuel-powered generators and ensure users have a reliable and safe power source. With 2200 watts of output, the Jackery is meant to power large household appliances. It has a low temperature resistance that ensures efficient performance in conditions as low as -4 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes it perfect for a crisp fall evening. And unlike the 12, it charges and operates silently, so I guess it won't disrupt the Seahawks season this year. And with just 2 hours of solar charging speed, the Jackery is ready to join the tailgating party with a last-minute invite. The foldable handle and lightweight design is ideal for transport without taking up too much space. Make sure that you stay tuned to the very end to learn more about the Jackery.
Aloha, I'm Brandie. E komo mai to the green box. My family has been in Hawaii for many years, multiple generations. What had happened that really was the catalyst for this build was my family had a house in Hilo that, for various reasons, we had to sell. And I always knew that I wanted to come back and live here and be part of this community because it is just who I am. But with that said, at that time, didn't have the money to build a house or to buy a pre-existing house. And honestly, I wasn't sure that that was the way to go. And you know, talking with my partner, neither one of us were really ready to make that sort of a commitment, let alone the financial aspect, because you hear the phrase priced out of paradise a lot, and it is totally true. A lot of local people who used to live here for generations, once you sell that family home, you can't get back. Looking at that, it made sense to go to a tiny home, and using that money, it's easier to buy a piece of land and to build a tiny home, and that was totally doable within our budget and didn't break the bank. I always thought that it is a great way to live, and that honestly, you don't need that much stuff. Welcome to the outside of the green box. So the green box is a 25-foot by 8-foot by 9-foot, what's called a high cube. Everything comes via a shipping container. And when I started to see these shows and I saw people taking shipping containers and making them into viable homes, I thought, well, that's actually pretty funny and a good use of resources, because to take what brings all of the other resources and to turn it into your actual home, I thought that was brilliant. All across the top are about 6 solar panels, and that comprises 2,600 watts with a 48-volt battery. And it's got its own travel trailer, as you see, which is a triple axis. Right now we've got it up on blocks, but that enables it to go out and move whenever we need it. The county does have restrictions on smaller dwellings like that. And if you wanted to just have a smaller tiny home here, current regulations is that you can only have 160 square feet without having a permit, but you can do mobile tiny homes, and that will keep you off the grid, one, but also within those regulations because you're considered a mobile structure. Believe it or not, it's actually called grass green, although it doesn't necessarily match our grass here. It was really important to blend in, because the last thing you wanted to do was stick a big red box on top of all of this beautiful lush gardens. And here we are blessed with the fact that we are on 3/4 of an acre, and down on the other side here is a stream. So here, just in this small space, is quite a lot of different plants. We've got a fruiting mandarin orange tree back there. We've got a jackfruit tree here on property. We've got mango above us. There's a coconut tree behind me. You see taro, you see tea leaf, there's ginger, there's lilikoi growing there in those trees. But it's all about working with what's already here, not necessarily coming and tearing it apart to plant things that don't necessarily belong here. This is natural. This is what wants to be here. So because of where we are, we're really blessed to have a lot of rainfall. So that keeps down the cost because we never have to pay for water. This is a water catchment system that I built using just an IBC tote, so it made it really affordable. And then doing an overflow here with this expandable pipe that runs out into the stream. So we don't really have to worry about it overflowing because that actually does happen. Even though this is only a 4x8 roof, one good storm, which we have frequently, we're full. The filtering is multi-step. There's a rain gutter cover to catch all the large debris. And then there's a secondary filter with a mosquito screen in the downspout. And then from here, it rolls down through this pipe. And then there's a secondary filtration system over here that filters all of the fine sediments. And then it gathers down there with an overflow for clean out. It's a little ball system, so the ball will float up and cap it, so once the water cleans itself, it comes back in, and then clean water's here, and then you just treat it and you're good to go. Then we have a hose that connects to the house, and that's how we get the water to the house. So over here on the end is where we kind of have all our systems. This is where the water pump hooks up to here, and this is a hot water. And then here is the AC, that's a mini split, which is really nice over here when we get a lot of humidity, and definitely a luxury, but it was a worth it luxury. And everything is totally powered by those solar panels that line the roof. So we never have to pay for any power, and we never have to pay for any water. Because the green box functions for us as a travel destination, for those times that we're not here, it was very important to design a system that closes up. And that does two functions of security. One, to keep people from coming in, but also because where we're at, there are hurricanes, there are tropical storms, and when it closes up to just a metal box, even if something falls from a tree, we're good. Okay, so now let's go on the inside. Okay, so now we're inside the green box, and this 25 feet is set up into what I would kind of consider 4 main areas. There's an outdoor folding deck, and then we move into the kitchen dining space, which also functions as the office area as well. And then in the middle is the living room / bedroom area, and then at the very end is the full-size bathroom. So because we're only in what amounts to actually a little bit less than 8 feet when you think about the drywall, how do you have all of the spaces that you need? One of the really big space savers that we found was having this Murphy bed. So by day, it's a full-size sofa that you could easily lay down and take a nap on or sit 4 people. And then by night, or whenever you wanted to go to sleep, this pulls down and it becomes a Murphy bed. Just because you're in a box doesn't mean you have to feel like you're in a box. That was one of the things that I really focused on in the design. I never get tired of looking at nature. You see all sorts of birds, and we've got wild pigs, we got chickens, you name it, it's coming through. So with that in mind, working with the builder, we had a 5-foot picture window installed in the kitchen, and then 2 8-foot by 5-foot sliders. So they're floor to ceiling windows. You really get all of that natural light. You can open it up for a great cross breeze, and it just really brings you into that jungle environment, which is why we're here in the first place. You fall in love with the land, not necessarily the box, but I love the box. We were really going for what I would call the hotel room in the jungle. Anybody will tell you, you've got to have furniture that does multiple functions. We've got a rolling table that can move from here to there, but at the same time, you don't want to give up stuff. I have in here 9 feet of kitchen counters and cabinetry. And that does 2 things. It makes it feel more like a house because you're not confined to like a tiny little RV stove, but it also gives you a lot of cabinets. So I've got plenty of things to store, and it all hides away, and then it just becomes a real clean line so that anybody that comes to visit, you can find stuff, you can put stuff away. You're not feeling like you're constantly stepping or tripping over your stuff, even though you're only in something that's 8 feet wide. So moving past the bedroom, we have what's kind of considered the external closet area. Here is where everybody puts their shoes. We've got a couple of books and games and things like that. There's more games above the bedroom area. And then here are some shelves that I built for a hanging closet. You don't really need a lot of ironed clothes out here because of the lifestyle that we lead, but you're always going to need a rain jacket. So this actually comes out and expands, and you could put a lot of clothes here, and then you could just tuck it back in, and it also serves to hide the stepladder. So moving past that, we go to the bathroom, and it was really important in this 25 feet to keep it feeling like you're not in a trailer. So with that, we've got a full-size shower, not just a little corner shower. And even the sink here is large, which I love this sink. This was kind of an extra gift from the builder that really fell in love with it. Full-size toilet, and here what it is, it's called a Lavio dry flush toilet. You see it a lot in RVs and places that you don't need water. So the way that this works here is it's got these bags inside, and once you're done doing whatever it is you need to do, you press it and it will wrap it up. This is why I call it the space toilet, and take care of it. I would say, you know, don't be afraid, because it's easy to get overwhelmed, especially when you find yourself in a situation where, yeah, I can't afford it, or it can't be done, or I'll never buy a house. Well, buying a house in the traditional sense with a mortgage and all of that is only one way. There are other ways to live. I really do think that this could be a viable alternative, especially here in the islands, where it is so hard, as I said, to come back once you lost. You need to have alternatives, and I think that this is a viable alternative, especially these shipping containers are literally coming by the thousands every day. So yeah, let's take the resources that we have and make it. You don't have to have all the bells and whistles that we have here with your AC and your drywall, but you can always do that over time, and it becomes a completely affordable option that way for people who do want to stay here. And you know, Hawaii needs Hawaiians. So I think people should stay, and you can use this to stay.
Thanks for watching this week's episode, and thank you to Jackery for sponsoring this video and making this tailgate party possible. Right now, we're powering the 2 crock pots and the television, which is pulling about 500 watts of power. That means the Jackery could power these items for up to another 4 hours. Plenty of time to watch the game. So embrace safety, sustainability, and convenience with Jackery's home power solutions. Search for the Jackery 2000 or the Jackery 2000 V2 to learn more about this new product, or click on the link in the video description. All right, guys, well, now it's time for me to eat. Make sure you check back soon, though, because we have a new unique home tour publishing every single week.